Hey guys, welcome back to John's Watch. Today I'm taking a look at a game called Down to One. Now, first off I will say I'm recording this commentary after I've already done the video. The reason why is it's a very hard game to commentate over live, because it's a very competitive game and it's a very sound oriented game. So I decided just to record a couple of games and I would do my current commentary afterwards. So what is Down to One? Down to One is a Battle Royale style game. Basically, you have a bunch of people in the middle at the start of the game. It can be anywhere between like 4 and 32, I think it is. And you all run off in different directions, and you try and get some nice equipment. You get some guns, you get some daggers or something, and you just try and be the last one to survive. Now, I've had this game hanging around in my Steam library for a very long time. Robbie and I asked the developers for keys when it first came out, and when it first came out it cost $15, around $15, and it was in early access, and then all of a sudden at the beginning of January this year it was put into full release, version 1.0, it's 1.0.1 right now, and its price dropped down to $1, and they say that is the new permanent price for the game. And on the surface you might be thinking, that sounds great, you know, it's a very cheap game, and it's out of early access, so it's done. Well, it's not. It is one of the buggiest games I have ever played. It is buggier than the majority of early access games, which is really unfortunate, because it is a fantastic idea for a game. Like, I love Hunger Games, and I've always wanted like a proper Hunger Games video game, and this does do it. It feels sort of uncomfortable to play it because of how buggy it is. It feels very unreliable. Every action you do in the game feels unreliable. You'll see a lot of the bugs in this video, but yeah, it's got a lot of issues. So you can see here, I start by picking up a gun, which is great. You can also see one of the issues there already. That is that your hands cover the UI a lot of the time, and they cover the HUD. So this guy's just got a shovel over there. Somehow he missed this pistol. So I'm just gonna come over here. I've got a silenced pistol. He's running away from me. I'm like, oh god, there's two guys here. So I just I shoot this guy in the back a bunch. He's just trying to get the guy with the shovel, and no, he's dead. So now, because I killed him, I can take all his stuff. So you get one primary weapon, you get a secondary weapon, and then you get 7 sort of additional slots, and that's for food and water. And you can see in the top right, you do have a food, water, and health meter. And it is part survival game, you do have to watch all of those. So you can die from thirst, or you can die from starvation. I've played a few games of it. I've got about 2 hours logged into the game right now, and I've never died from starvation or dysentery. It's always just been bad luck from other people. So you can see here, I'm just fiddling about with stuff. You can only hold one primary weapon at a time, so I toss out the fire extinguisher, which is pretty crap, honestly. And I get this nice 12 gauge, was it a shotgun? Yeah. And now you can see the spinning thing in the sky, just like, well, not like a normal Hunger Games game. The arena does shrink, so by the end of the game it forces everyone together. And that's a very clever system, because if there's like 30 players left, the arena won't start shrinking for ages. If you start with the game with like 5 players, which I've done before, it starts shrinking very, very quickly. The reason it looks so dark right now is that there's a couple of different types of servers. So one server is like a nighttime server, and that's what this one is. I will show off the other servers in a little bit. But yeah, this is a nighttime server. And unfortunately 2 of the bits of footage that I got are both from nighttime servers. I had better frame rates in the nighttime servers than I did in the daytime ones though, so there's that. You can see I'm getting a survival bonus, so getting $50 at a time. And basically what you use the money for is to unlock new perks. That's someone talking to me on Steam, that's not your Steam, don't worry. But yeah, what you can do is you unlock new perks, such as you get hungry slower than normal. There's lots of cool perks actually. It does seem like some of them are broken. I can't remember them off the top of my head right now, but like I think I had about $50,000 last time I checked, and so I've got some pretty decent perks on there. So another couple of reasons why I decided to do this post-commentary style is because there's no guarantee that you'll get a good match when you're recording it, when I would have been recording it. So I could have started recording, said, hey guys, let's get into this, and then I could have died like 2 minutes into it, and I'd have to start the video all over again. So I thought it'd be easier just to record myself playing a bunch of games, and I'd take the footage from the best games, which is what I have in this video. And another reason for doing post-commentary is when you're playing, you really have to focus on sounds, especially when you're into sort of villages like this bit here. You want to, if you're inside a building, you can hear the grass rustling outside when people walk through it, and that does mean that there is someone outside coming to get you. So it's really hard to do that live. So I wanted to get like the best games I could, the best footage I could, so I decided to just record myself playing it first. For some reason in the nighttime map, the bottles of water glow bright white, so it is extremely easy to find them in the world. And then in your inventory, they just look normal. And in like the daytime map, they look normal as well. So obviously any place with houses and buildings is where you want to find, or where you'll find the most stuff. You can find stuff just lying around on the ground, or you can find like briefcases and stuff. So here I check the door, there's no one around. And then if I turned around just slightly later, I would have seen that guy come in. And I didn't hear him, I didn't see him at all. So that was pretty unfortunate. Hopefully he looks at my corpse, because the corpses bug out ridiculously. Doesn't look like it. But you can see some of the movement. There's like movement blur, which looks awful. No, I didn't. Okay, so this is the starting area. Here you just, you press escape, you ready up, and you wait for enough people to be readied up. For some reason, all the player models are SWAT people, and I do not know why. It doesn't really make much sense. But you can see there, 2 more people need to ready up. I think it is a minimum of 4 people per game. Alright, so we've got enough people. That means we have 15 seconds. After 15 seconds, all the fences will break down, and we'll be able to run out into the world. That is one of the buggiest parts of the game, unfortunately. You almost always get stuck on a fence. So here we go, they're going to break down, they break down, and you just get stuck on it. You can't even jump over it. Everyone is stuck in here, and there we go, we're out. One person's out. It is ridiculous. You can fist fight people right at the beginning of the game if you want, but there's not much point to it because it wears you out quickly, and it takes a long time to kill someone, so pretty much nobody does that. They all run off to try and find stuff. And like you can really see, look at how much your hand covers the UI. It's so weird. It's such a simple thing that should not be happening in a game that is supposedly out of early access. This is a game that is deemed ready for the general public, not just people who want to support the game. And that blows my mind. So I just see someone sneak in here. I'm like, okay, I've got my knife. Let's do this. He probably doesn't have anything. Oh no, he can pick up that fire extinguisher. Luckily he doesn't, and I just murder him. Oh, look at that corpse. Look at it. It just turns into like a weird alien thing. Like, what happens? I don't know. It is so buggy. And if all the bugs get fixed, this will be an amazing game that I will play all the time. But I just don't like playing it when it's this unreliable. Because people teleport all over the place. No, I haven't even talked about the servers yet. I'll talk about that when, just in a little bit. So I just spotted someone over there. He's holding a box and he's got a sledgehammer. So I decided to go at him with my fire extinguisher. And my fire extinguisher doesn't do anything. And then he one-hits me. And I'm like, fuck this game. But that's okay-ish, because apparently you do a lot more damage if you hit someone in the head. So he just managed to hit me in the head with a sledgehammer, which probably makes sense. That should be an instant kill. Alright, so here's the main menu. And you have a lot of issues with servers not refreshing properly. I didn't in this bit of footage. You can see there's only, what was that? 8 or 9 servers, and if all of them have started, well actually I think only about 7 of them work, and if they've all started, you have, there's nothing you can do, you just have to wait for one to finish. So you do spend a lot of time waiting around in this game. That's another reason why I decided to do this post commentary style, just so that I wouldn't have to sit through tons of waiting around. So at the beginning of this round, I ended up back at the weird fire pit thing that I was in in the first part of this video, and there's just a knife just randomly not in a basket. Don't know why. Luckily I could just hover over it. There's tons of stuff at this location actually. There's like a crowbar there, which I don't need because I've got my knife. I think there's a gun. There's a bottle that's randomly not actually supplies. There you can see, because there's only 5 people left, it's already starting to shrink quite a bit. Yeah, this game started with, oh no, there's 4 people left. It started with like 5 people, which didn't make for a brilliant game. I decided to drop my knife for a shovel, which you can see it completely covers up your health, food, and water bar. Like, I think that's probably the part that annoys me the most, that your player model covers the UI and the HUD. That is something I could forgive in early access, but a full release is ridiculous. There's a weird box that's not quite, that hasn't worked properly. It's, I don't even, look at that. What is going on there? Well, I got some supplies out of it, I guess. So at some points there's a supply plane that drops stuff, and for some reason part of its model was a giant white square in the sky. I've never found what it's dropped before, but it's a good system because it stops, or it puts more supplies into the game, which is great. You can see there I was like the playable area is shrinking so fast that I was almost out of it, so I had to run at this point. You can see a really weird bug in this bit here, where if you get too close to a wall, you start to phase into it, and it just sort of kicks you back. So here I'm trying to use a ladder, I phase into it, I'm like, okay, whatever, I'll try and use this ladder again. Nope, phase into it again. And if you look down, you do look into yourself. Sometimes you don't climb the ladder properly, sometimes you climb it. Sometimes you keep climbing up it like that. Sometimes you just climb it sort of like behind where it's supposed to be, or in front of where it's supposed to be. Just to my left here, I'll see it in just a little bit. There's a bullet randomly floating in the air. Not one that you can grab or anything, just a bullet that's randomly floating there. It's just around the corner here. There we go. You can see it, yeah. Just a random bullet floating there. Good stuff. So this is the end of my run here. I got down to the final 2. I started phasing into walls and like phasing through walls. Ridiculous. And then I saw him. And I just couldn't really do much here. I was trapped in here. Didn't know where he was. And so this is the part where you really have to be able to listen carefully. So I could hear him moving around outside. You can see it gets pretty tense. Here I decided to switch to my shovel so I could try and just headshot him if he came in. But that didn't quite work. I see a shadow, and then he just goes to town on me with his gun. And I don't really know what happened there. But anyway, I came second, unfortunately. So there you go. That was my look at Down to One. It is a great idea for a game, but it has so many issues that I can't even recommend it at $1, unfortunately. Anyway, thank you guys very much for watching, and I will see you guys later. Bye! You took more candy, how disgusting. YOLO! Okay, I've got 3 now, and that's ruined the pacifist run. I hope it hasn't.